What's up, people? Punch here. So I picked up this game for about $10 on Steam called Zed Zone, and it's a top-down survival game, post-apocalyptic, with crafting elements, and of course, survival elements of being able to bandage yourself, craft different weapons and armor, being able to craft different things like workbenches to get higher tier stuff that you can craft, and then be able to pump up your character with different skills that you would start off in the game. You have strength, agility, stamina, and energy, and they have their own different properties there, as well as the other skill points for like mastery of firearms, pistols, reloading, magazine stuff. Then you have the other modifiers for like being able to deal with radiation or being able to run super fast for long periods of time. Then you can customize your character when you first start off the game. Like I said, the game's about $10 on Steam. It is early access. And let me talk about one negative right now in particular that I'm not a big fan of. When you play this game, regardless of whatever settings you're at, as you can see a couple times, it will slow down in FPS. I don't understand why that is. It's mostly a game thing, and I tried to lower it down a couple of times in graphics, turn bloom off, get rid of anti-aliasing and everything, and it still does it, so hopefully with it being early access, they'll fix that. Another negative I have with the game is that the melee is kind of weird and wonky. And what I mean by that is that some other games you'd play, like maybe How to Survive, you'd go and click on the actual target you're attacking. This pretty much hits anyone that's around you. So if you use a machete, a wrench, a hammer, or anything, you're going to be basically smacking bears, zombies, and other animals with it that is around you, kind of like a little bit of a shield somewhat, because it goes around inside of a circle. So that was a little bit annoying too. But again, small things to deal with other than the FPS issues. Like I said, FPS issues are the biggest deal right now. If they could flush that out, the game is pretty much worth it. Otherwise, when you get into the actual main game itself, doing the mechanics, they have a bunch of skill trees you could choose from for your character to be able to run farther and faster, to have more strength when chopping down wood, being able to attack and do more damage that way, and then being able to use a firearm more effectively like pistol, sniper, or shotgun. Then they have their own build. For example, you can make a foundation, build up a base with a house around it, put a workbench inside it with a campfire, and so on. You could also craft inside your own character's main menu and be able to make bandages, ammunition if you have the shells for it, and so on. The other thing I want to talk about was the weapons that you use in this game. For example, the air rifle that I'm using that you pick up from the crashed helicopter at the beginning of the game. It is weird to use because you don't understand that you have to pump that thing. If you see the gauge at the bottom where it's red, yellow, green, and blue, you have to pump up the air so that it's good enough to shoot. And in order to do that is by pressing the R button, clicking on the little box next to the weapon, and then pumping it up by tapping the R key all the way up. And when you get it fully pumped up, just left click and then you're able to shoot it by reloading into the pellets you have. And it does kill the zombies pretty effectively. If you can find the ammunition for it, highly recommend getting that and using that for the starter weapon because the crossbow sucks. The crossbow, you use like normal wood. It does kill them, but not very effectively. The other guns I've used so far is the Remington, the Silent Smith & Wesson revolver, and a double-barreled shotgun. But mostly when I didn't have the ammunition for it, I would use a machete or a wrench to be able to kill the zombies. You can go ahead and find stuff inside buildings, being able to chop down wood from trees using just a normal hammer or machete. You could break rocks with it too. Essentially, you need the bare bones stuff in order to make the workbench, a campfire, to be able to cook food. And if you do actually have the cooking done, for example, you have bear meat or venison, go over to the campfire, and when you make it, as he's cooking, he will tell you whether it's cooked good or not, and that's when you're able to stop cooking and then go to the next one. If I go too long, it'll be inedible and it'll just be, thrown out anyway. And that is pretty nice. I do like survival games to where it's not just, hey, you go out, explore, kill a couple of zombies, get some sweet weapons and gear, and then move on. It's more micromanaging your character, make sure he has food and water, and being able to survive. So if you do get infected with a disease or you get hit by a zombie, you'll have bandages and disinfectants for that. The game is early access, like I said earlier. There is going to be changes and some issues and some problems besides the FPS stuff. Mostly just the frames dropping is what I'm having an issue with. If they get that fixed and flushed out, I would love to play this game more, have to deal with more zombies, and kill them all, grab their stuff, being able to dismember them, or the bears and stuff you kill, so that you can get their meat, get their gear, like riot armor, helmets, actual ammunition for pistols and shotguns. It's a very fun game to play. I haven't really got into the explosions and the destructibility of the levels, other than wandering around a forest and killing a bunch of zombies. So I'm not really that far into it. But from what I've seen so far, this game has a lot of potential, as you would hear in most early access games, and I've been liking it a lot. Plus, it's under $15, so what do you got really to lose? But anyway, I've been One Nut Punch, and this has been another video. Like I said earlier, it's early access. There's going to be issues with the game. People don't really understand that sometimes, and that's why, you have people like me that are trying to come out and show this stuff. I'm going to stick with it. I do find it enjoyable to just shoot zombies, grab their stuff, or even craft things to make primitive gear, then bump it up into the best gear and just kill everybody anyway. Because when you get the workbench, you can make whetstone. You could also make explosive and fire arrows and some other things. But anyway, I've been One Nut Punch, and this has been another video. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later.